Alright guys, so this is one of many videos to come. I think the quickest one that I wanted to answer for everybody is, what am I posting? What are these accounts I keep talking about? And exactly how am I making any money? What are we talking about here, right? So we have futures trading. What you see here, for example, is the NASDAQ. This is one of the many different things you can trade on the accounts that I use. The accounts that I use specifically are what's called prop firm accounts. And this one here is with a company called Blue Sky, right? And what it is you guys purchase a evaluation and you use that account in order to use that money to trade. So for example, this 50K account, right? $50,000 supposedly, right? I say supposedly because people misinterpret what that amount of money means, what you can and can't do with that money. $50,000 just gives you an idea. If you were to take your own money live, how much money you would need to put into an account cash in order to be able to trade this amount of contracts and sizing. Right, so here a 50K account gives you 10 minis, 100 micros, and you would need leverage in the market to be able to trade. Now, by buying this account, for example, right now it says 204. There's a promotion right now. It's on sale for $100. Now, instead of putting $50,000 of your money, you're going to put in $100 to access this $50,000 account. Okay, and then you have what's called drawdown. So you see here it says distance to drawdown 1993, right? So $1,900, almost $2,000 essentially, right? And then this account happens to have a daily loss limit, which just means if you lose $1,000 for the day, the account locks you out. Now, what does this mean? From the $50,000, you have a profit goal. As you see here, this account was already passed, so I'm at $53,200. What you have to do is when you're initially at that $50,000 balance, when you buy a fresh account, it starts at quote unquote zero, the initial balance $50,000. You need to get to $3,000 without losing $2,000, right? So that's how this account specifically works. There's very many different accounts. As you see here, even on the screen, there's 4 different account types, different sizing, different profit goals, and different daily loss limits. And then you have consistency as well. So some companies let you hit the profit goal. For example, here 50,000, you need to make 3,000. Some companies let you do that in the same day, pass the account immediately. This company does not. They want a 30% consistency, which means you can only make up to $900 a day, essentially meaning it's going to take you at least 4 days to pass this account. Okay, so now if this account were at $50,000, right, I would take a trade here trying to hit the profit goal. Now another way to show you is here. This is a paper account. This is entirely fake. I could reset the balance and literally just start right over. So this is right here. We're going to reset the account, $50,000, and we're in, right? So if this were that Blue Sky account that I just showed you, right, you don't have access to losing the $50,000. What you have to do is within those 4 days or more time, but without losing 2,000, you want to go to 53,000. Now I trade the NASDAQ. Okay, this is a 5-minute chart, for example, and this morning I took longs around this area and I hit my daily profit goal. If some of you guys saw me post, within less than 45 minutes of market open. So it's my hour trading day. Now, what is it that you really need to know? So again, I showed you that profit goal, and I also showed you contract numbers, right? So what does that contract number mean? So the NASDAQ NQ is $20 per point, okay? And if you think it's going to go up, here we're at 422. We are bouncing off 1, 2, 3, or 4-ish levels. Pretty strong momentum here on the day. Trump announced that his EU tariffs are, on pause. Market's bullish. So if you think the market's going to go up, you buy and you go long, right? So I did a market buy, which means I entered long right where the market currently is at, okay? Now, because it's $20 per point, right? If I wanted to pass this account today, I would need the market to go all the way up to, obviously we could do the math, $3,000, but I'm going to show you on the chart directly. We would want to hit right here, 571. And that's because, again, the math is $20 per point. You're going for $3,000. You're in a single contract, right? How does this matter? Well, it also means that you can't lose more than 1,000. So if I were trying to pass today in an account that would allow me to do so, I would need it to go up to this level before it came down to this level. Now what happens is, as far as trader psychology and all these other things, is you try to rush. Maybe the day does not have enough momentum and volume to reach as high, so you add contracts, right? So now I'm in 2 contracts, which you notice doubled these numbers. What does that do? Well, unfortunately, that means that, again, if I can only lose 1,000, now I have less room to breathe to the downside, because if it goes down and I'm long, it's going against me. However, it does mean that I can shoot for half as many points to pass, because now I'm making $40 per point instead of $20 per point. That's a very quick introduction, very basic. Another way to look at it is when you look at the games that I'm posting every day. I trade M&Q, and you're going to notice something. It's the same exact chart, same setup, same everything, right? It's just the values change, right? So if you notice here, I'll go into 2 contracts like I just showed you previously, and you'll notice the numbers are moving much slower, right? Remember, we were down here somewhere as our daily loss limit. Now we're only $200 negative here. And then that's how I shoot for my $200 profit a day. Not this exact ratio, but again, with micros, it's $2 per point instead of $20 per point. Now, one thing to note is, what do you guys, how am I making money? You have to make the $3,000 without losing the $2,000. In this account specifically, there's a lot of different companies, a lot of different account types, different account sizes. It's all going to vary on, are you an aggressive trader? Do you need a bigger account, 100K, usually the accounts that I buy? Or are you okay with $100 a day? Now, once you hit your profit goal with most companies, what happens is you activate the account into what is called a funded account. When you do that, the balance will again reset, right? So let's say I hit $3,000 for some reason on this account, and we'll make pretend that, boom, I just activated it. So this is 100K, I passed it, now it's a funded. Well, now the money that you make, you can withdraw from. However, you still have all those rules that you need to abide by. And again, more information, but you need to look into what account size, what company, what rules, and that's where it gets a little bit complicated for new guys and new traders, is understanding all the different rules across all the different companies. For example, I trade about 25 to 30 accounts across 4 to 6 different companies. So while I'm trading, I need to keep in mind all those different rules in order to know what amount of money I need to get to, how much money I can withdraw, how many trading days I need. For example, this company doesn't have trading days. One of the companies that I trade with requires 10 trading days, but there's a minimum of $200 profit for it to count as a trading day. Some companies count $50 as a trading day. And basically, for the most part, what you're looking at with all these accounts is usually you need to accumulate about $3,000 to $4,000 to be able to start withdrawing. My bigger accounts, I need to accumulate about $7,000. And if you notice, I post about $200 to $300 of average gains daily per account. That's somewhere around $1,200 to $1,500 a week. And so essentially within about 4 to 5 weeks, I can withdraw from all of my accounts one time, right? Now it's going to take 4 to 5 weeks to get there, to get to that $6,000, $7,000 balance. I'm only withdrawing, right? You can't withdraw the full balances. There's always a payout cap, it's called. And with most of these companies, it's somewhere around that $1,500 to $3,000 range. Okay, so with those 20 accounts that I just mentioned, or let's say the 25 accounts, if I trade 25 of them, they cost me about $100 to $150 each, right? Let's go on the high side. So let's say I spend $4,000 on 25 accounts. Let's say, I don't have such a good trading day. I lose 5. Let's say I even lose 10 of them. Well, 15 of them get to that withdrawal threshold, right? The ability in which the balance is enough, and I followed all the rules. I have the needed trading days. I have the consistency percentage, meaning you can't just make 10 grand today and then the next 9 days trade $100. Most companies have a consistency, meaning they want to see that you're trading generally the same profit risk every day, real actual trading habits. But let's say those 15 accounts, 6 weeks gets to that balance that's necessary, just trading super safe, $200-$300 a day, $1,500 a week, $7,500 or so in about a month and a half, right? And from those 25 to 30 accounts, let's say I withdraw from half of them, 15 of them, $1,500 withdrawal. Most likely a higher withdrawal, but we'll go on the low side. That's a $23,000 return on about a $4,000 or so investment that we mentioned. So that's how you see, and that's where you start to understand where this money is coming from, and is it real? Yes. How is it real? Well, I leverage myself by trading with different companies, trading multiple accounts, and also understanding that every trade I take is not going to be a good trade. And that's just the fact of the matter, right? So I'm more than willing to, unfortunately, take a bad trade, take a losing trade, lose an account or two. But then the numbers is there as far as, 25, 30 accounts, just half of them survive. Because that's what trading is. Trading is survival. It's not easy. It doesn't just click. You don't just get rich overnight. However, the one thing that I want to mention to people is that, it takes that $1,500 about 6 weeks to get to that. I like that $7,000 to $9,000 range to start withdrawing. But what you have to realize is if I'm only withdrawing $1,500 from, let's say, a $9,000 account, well, guess what? Now, if I'm still making $1,500 a week, and the account was at 9,000, I withdraw 1,500, I still have $7,500 in there. So it's only going to take me 1 week to get right back to that mark of $9,000 that I like. If I trade for 2 weeks because the company needs 8 or 10 trading days, there's 5 trading days a week if there's no holidays, then the account's going to be back at 10,500 anyways, right? So while it takes 4 to 6 weeks for that first withdrawal, once I'm above that $10,000, $11,000 mark, now I'm withdrawing $3,000 times 15 accounts twice a month, and that's it. That should be your goal. Now, do you need to start there? Are you going to make that much money? Are you going to be able to withstand the losses? Can you hold, can you stay in the game if you lose 10 accounts that cost you $1,500, right? If not, then that's fine. You start with one account. Like I said, one account here is $100, and there's no reason why for $100 you don't learn, trade, take your time. And then this company in particular lets you withdraw every single day. There's no trading days. There's no maximum. There's no minimum. It just takes 3 steps to get there. So it takes a little longer to get to that point in which you can make as much money as you want, withdraw it all, and understand all the rules. So hopefully this either answers a lot of questions or gives you a better understanding to have more questions, right? Because it's important to have questions rather than just not understand at all. So by looking at this video, starting to get this introduction, starting to somewhat understand what is he posting, what is he doing, how does he make money, is he actually making money, this is some of those answers. Now, just so you understand, the companies I trade with are Blue Sky, Apex, Elite Trader Funding. I trade with, let's see, I've traded Top Step. We have Take Profit Trader. All these companies, if you use the code BMP, will give you their best discount at all times. And these are all different companies. So with Blue Sky, you can have 2 funded accounts. With Apex, you can have 20. Elite Trader Funding, you can have 20. Take Profit, I believe, lets you do 3 or 5. Tradeify lets you do 5. So even there alone, you could have 5, maybe 3, that's 8, plus 20, that's 28, plus another 20, that's 48, plus these 2 is 50. Just these 5 websites alone, I just showed you the ability to leverage 50 accounts. And if you purchase 50 accounts and you make your easy $200 to $300 a day, let's say you survive about 30 of those accounts, right? Well, 50 accounts are going to cost you, let's say on average, $175. It's a $9,000 investment. 30 of those accounts get to a payout withdrawal. It's $45,000 minus your $9,000, $36,000, right? And then from there, it doesn't cost anything to keep these accounts, right? So you withdrew $36,000. All that other money is still sitting in those accounts. You continue to trade them, and you continue to withdraw every 8 to 10 trading days. Again, some companies don't have a minimum. Some companies only need 5 days of $200. It all varies, and all that information is available discord.gg/BMP Trading, or contact us on Instagram _BMP Trading. And for those of you that know me personally, of course, reach out, DM, text, call, whatever you need, here to help. But this is definitely something that, again, without having to put in thousands of dollars of your money, you could easily start making thousands of dollars. And I say easily because it's possible, not because it's easy to do, but because for $100 you access this $2,000 of drawdown. So if you can buy a couple accounts, put in some time, treat this like a career, and give it time to learn, then you can be successful and you can make money.